Good morning and welcome to Friday. There are so many reasons I don't eat fast food. Number one, I don't like the way I feel the day after I wake up. And that was today. I woke up at 5 and I was just like, oh God, I had a cheeseburger and a milkshake last night. Like, ugh. At the time it was delicious. It was really fun. And now I'm like, ugh. So I'm going to bar method. Been having a tough time staying consistent with it. Just with the move and with my willingness to make excuses to not go. I got enough sleep last night. We're at 5 this morning. I was like, all right, I'm awake. I have no excuses. Go to bar method. So here I go. And then I have therapy. And I'm really curious how that's gonna go because I'm wondering if it's going to be drawing to a close. And maybe not. Maybe there's lots of other things wrong with my head that we can get into and fix, but I don't feel particularly traumatized by my wife anymore. Yeah, I'm just kind of curious how therapy is going to go in terms of, is there more personal work to get done? Or I always felt like I was a relatively put together person. Just the pain of this breakup was unusually difficult. And I'm wondering if she'll broach the topic and be like, hey, you're doing good. Maybe you shouldn't come here anymore. I really, really like talking to her. I always come away with perspective and I feel like things make more sense afterwards. I don't want to stop going, but it's also not the most inexpensive way to spend a Friday afternoon. So it's been like 2 or 3 weeks since I've been to bar method because I'm an excuse machine. I didn't lose so much strength today as, my flexibility was terrible. And I like being flexible. I think it's about finding balance in your life. We're rolling. Good. How are you doing today? What are you thinking about? What is good in your life? I'm in a funny place and it's a tricky thing to put words to. Like I have anxiety in my chest. I can feel it. And I don't know why, and that's the troubling part. So you get on all your lists of what's caused me anxiety in the past? What has stressed me out? And I'm not really sure right now. I have work I need to do for school. That's not usually an anxiety causer. It's just something I have to do. I feel like there's something looming out there about my wife, about the marriage situation. I can't place it. I'm a little concerned about her, the person, because it just all seems so weird and off. And the last time I saw her, she just doesn't seem like her. I know it's none of my business. It's not my problem, but it was my business and my problem for 7 years. So it's a little hard to just wipe that away. It's on my brain. I was good at taking care of her. To stop taking care of her and to see her not look good, it's a weird feeling. Like he's not taking care of her. And I don't know, like saying what I just said now, like that, I don't know that I feel like I've hit the nail on the head. Maybe just the reality of this situation just hits you over and over and over again. The definitiveness of it all. Like she's definitely gone, moved away, moved to San Francisco, started a new job, moved with him, packed their stuff. I don't feel terribly lonely because I feel like I have friends, but it's there, like I can feel it. I don't know if it's something as basic as like, I wish I had a relationship. I mean, I do wish I had a relationship. I think what I need to keep in check also is the thought that going into a new relationship will in some way be like being in my past relationship. I think if you don't put the work into it, it's really easy to slip into the thought or the feeling that, like I miss the feeling of a relationship, but each relationship has its own feeling, and that something with somebody else isn't going to feel like it did with the previous person. And that totally makes sense, but I think it's the lazy thinking of, you just want to feel okay, and anything with anybody would make you feel similarly okay, and that's just not the case. All right, I got to put this away and hustle. What a cool day today was. My advanced classes, we got a lot of work done. They're coming together. I'm excited. I forgot to turn the pump off. I need to come back later and do that. And now I'm going to therapy, and I don't know how this is gonna go. And I'm so curious. I can't figure out where my heart and my head is at. And we talked this morning on my way to work about trying to figure out where I'm at. I don't know. And I don't know going into therapy, I feel fine. I feel fine, a little bit anxious, and I don't know exactly what's causing the anxiety, but compared to the anxiety I've felt through this whole process, I feel pretty amazing. So, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how the day goes. Towards the end of the day, I asked if I was going up to the show tonight because she wasn't around last night. And I thought, oh, she wants to know if I'm around. And I like having barn friends. That makes me feel special and thought about. And even though my intention this morning was to maybe just stay at home tonight and put up art, the opportunist in me that I think is worth listening to has me thinking, well, I might be driving up to Del Mar tonight because I'm not going to say no to opportunity. Somebody wants to know if I'll be around? Hell yeah, I'll be around. Yeah, I just don't know how to approach therapy, what to talk about. Yeah, but I actually feel sort of nervous because I don't know what happens now. I feel like maybe this is where her strength comes in. I think she's just, oh, that's funny. I think she's getting here now. I'm gonna get off this. I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, that was really good. It's so funny how each time the sessions can feel so different and the things that come out of them are so different than the times before. You know, I think the most interesting part of the conversation was when I brought up the fact that I was feeling anxious this morning and trying to figure out why I felt anxious. But the way she approaches it, she'll be like, you know, do you want to sit with that for a little while? Do you want to work on that? And I was like, yeah, sure, yeah. I think part of it might have been just, I had so much fun last night just being silly that I really miss that in a relationship. I miss being in a partnership where you can be silly and make each other laugh. That might have been one of the greatest parts of being with my wife, is that sense of humor wise, we always laughed. God, we laughed all the time and had so many jokes, and it was so much fun to be together. You know, sitting next to each other on the couch, we would text each other like we were just funny. I thought she was hysterical, she thought I was hysterical, and we were never at a loss for words, because if conversation ever got low, you could just bring up something from the past that was funny and laugh about it and sort of riff on that. It was awesome. And I think that's going to be a tough thing to replicate. And maybe I'm wrong, maybe not. I think one of my strengths is learning what, not a group of people, but what an individual person finds to be funny, and then working with that. And also just kind of like making light of present situations and making callbacks to things that we had experienced together. I think the amount of fun I had last night reminded me in a really perceptible way how much fun I had in my marriage, and how much I missed that, because that was special. Saying it now maybe feels like a duh moment, but it did take me a little while to arrive at that. And I caught her up on the week, and we talked about the condo and her stuff and how to approach that, and I talked about not really wanting to break the seal and get in touch with my wife. She thought that just an email would be the appropriate thing to do, and she took it as a huge red flag. She was really kind of concerned about the fact that my wife has excluded her entire family, like everybody. She thinks that's significantly problematic. One of the things we talked about today was my concern for my wife's mental health, that I just don't think she's well. Yeah, the amount of weight she's put on. The amount of weight she's put on is concerning. For somebody with a history like hers, that she's in the position she's in right now, it doesn't seem good. It's the beginning of a relationship, worth blowing a marriage up for. And she seems so out of control that she's put on a significant amount of weight. On the heels of that, I'm going to get frozen yogurt because it's what I do after it's what I do after therapy. I'm sorry, that feels really inappropriate. Yeah, I need to think on that stuff for a little bit, but I'll see you in a second. I would be wise to stay at home and get work done, but I'm not too wise. I think when I get home, I will find out if I should go up to the show and hang out with people. I don't know what to do. I think Friday night hanging out with people sounds good. I think I will do that. That will mean driving to the barn on Friday, driving to the barn Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. If it's my happy place, what does it matter, right? I like going to the barn. There's my house. There's the place I own right up there. Yeah, I'll show you. That's where I live. That's where I used to live. I still own it, but that will be gone away soon. I really like that place. Moving on. I guess I should forward all my mail. Not that it matters, I don't really get much mail. It's just all that crap when you move, sitting down, logging into like all your credit cards and all your everything and being like, hey guys, I'm moving to here. Please forward my mail. The therapy was nice because I feel like the things that got said aloud were helpful on a more personal level. I told her the story about how my wedding song came on the other day and how that was tough, but I didn't turn it off, and I listened to the whole thing, and I think she thought that was good. I was being true to myself and true to what I feel. I'm not going to listen to the song again for a long time. And I think that would be interesting. Whenever down the line I hear it again, will it affect me similarly? Will it just be this really hot connection to the past, like inescapably severe? Like, yep, that song's always going to make me feel that way. I just watched a gentleman have a very animated conversation with somebody inside a car, and when I passed the car, there was nobody in the car. He was just looking at his own reflection in the glass. The sad thing is, that is not the first time I have seen that situation play out this year. I watched a woman have a conversation with a guy inside a Mercedes, and there was no guy inside the Mercedes. It was just a car. That was a little weird. As you probably guessed, I'm headed to the barn. She was going, and she had no dinner plans, so I said, want to make plans? And she said yes. So I'm going to drive up and have dinner with her. Because why not, right? Because yes, man. Because I could stay home and hang pictures on the wall or make something happen. So I'm gonna have to make something happen. It is oddly liberating to live a life where nobody can tell me no. Nobody can tell me not to do something. Not that that's what my life was like before. You know, a relationship has a sense of gravity to it. When I'd leave the house, there was always this sort of pull in my heart to go back home because I missed her. I want to be with somebody that I miss when I'm not with them. That's what I want. You know, I want somebody to think about me and miss me when I'm not around. And I want to feel the same for them. I'm cool with that. You know, I've done the thing where it's good when you're together and it doesn't matter if you're apart, and then you come back together and you're happy. Like, I get it, and that is very logical and very sound, and that's okay. But I like missing the person more. I want a little bit of passion. I want love. I want that in my life. And I want to laugh. And I want to be silly. I want to send pictures of girls wearing helmets to somebody and have them laugh at the outrageousness of it. I think that's what last night reminded me of. That I am funny, that I'm fun to be with, that I'm silly and creative, and I like that version of me. That's the natural me. That's where I'm at home. And I'm so thankful to the whole barn community because it's enabling me to be me again. These lessons where we're silly and sassy and weird, it's like me finding me again. I've been so sad and so shut off and so hurting that to go to these lessons and just be whatever I am there, I like me. I like the situation. I like the people I'm with. It was so unexpected to have this happen there. Initially, when I had to stop training with Greg and start training with the people I'm with now, I was sad because I was really comfortable with Greg and I like Greg. But in hindsight, I'm grateful for how this has come about. I'm grateful for the moments I've had with my trainer when it was just her and I in a lesson and I could talk candidly about my life. At those moments I needed that, and she was there and she helped me, and that's tremendous. Grateful for the moments that I had, like driving around in the truck with Matt, who just said kind things in the most offhanded of ways that hit me hard. I'm grateful for my other barn friends who have really helped me yeah. Strangely choked up, but I think I'm finally getting my fingers on the pulse of this thing. I'm grateful for my newer barn friends who have really helped me open up and help me find me again. The version of me I like. The honest, silly, sarcastic, caring, giving me. And the opinion of others now has more weight to me than my wife's would. Like if she was at the barn tomorrow and saw me ride, it would be distracting, but whether she complimented me or put me down wouldn't mean as much as if at least 8, if not 12 people at the barn's opinions. Most anyone at the barn's opinion means more to me now than my wife's does. I've so missed humor and that connection. I've missed private jokes. A lot of my adult friends have helped me so much, and they care, and they have saved me. You know, they have helped me through this thing. And what I didn't know was missing was what my younger friends have brought, which is caring in that other kind of more severe way where they make fun of me. And I wasn't ready for it before, but I am now. And in a weird way, they've been through it with me in a way that my older friends haven't, because they're at the barn. So they've seen my wife, whereas other people haven't. They've seen my wife and her boyfriend together, whereas other people haven't. They've seen me dealing with seeing my wife at the barn, whereas other people haven't. They've made fun of my wife and made fun of my wife's boyfriend based on what they've seen, whereas other people haven't. In an act of solidarity, they've been rude to my wife when other people haven't. That kind of loyalty, that kind of friendship has a lot of value to me. So what can I contribute to that? I'll drive them to Panera or Froyo or like Mary's. That is a small price to pay for that kind of friendship and loyalty. And I continually try and take stock of how lucky I am, how much good is in my life. And there's so much good. These people are amazing and so good to me. And the fact that I have so much good and that I'm so lucky becomes the source of a little bit of guilt. Because I'm lucky. I know I'm lucky. I know I'm so rich to have my family, my friends, my therapist, my attorney. And despite that, I want more. And what I want is someone. I want a relationship. I want a person. I want to be in a relationship. Because when I think about when I'm at my best, it's when I'm in a relationship. And I brought that up today. I was talking to my therapist and I said, oh, but they're like, when you least expect it, when you're not looking for it is when it happens. And here's why I love my therapist. She was like, no, absolutely not. I don't believe that at all. She said, if it's something that's important to you, you have to do the work. And then she talked about her life and graduate school and her PhD and posted like how much work she's done. She said, what I wanted was this right now, this sitting here talking to people, helping them. And she said, and it took years and years of work and struggle and dues paying, and I earned this. And she said, it's not different for a relationship. She said, you don't lower your expectations, you raise your expectations. You figure out what you want and you work for it. She said, you're not entitled to it, but you can set the bar high. Go after what it is you want or what it is you need. Pursue what's good for you. And what I loved was that she was so adamantly against the when you least expect it kind of adage. I think that gets back to my friend's thing. He was advocating for me to get on Tinder and saying things such as, do you think you're just going to meet somebody when you're reaching for the gelato in the grocery store? When the two of you are reaching for the same product and you touch hands and you fall in love? He's like, yeah, that's not going to happen. I don't want to do online dating things. I guess I will if it comes down to it, but I just keep trying to head in a direction that feels more right. I keep riding and meeting people, and I don't know how long I can sustain that, but I know I like it. I like that world. I like the people. I like horses. I'm really proud to say that too. I'm proud of so much of that. When my students are like, what are you doing this weekend? I was like, well, tonight I'll probably go to the barn, and Saturday I'll go to the barn, and Sunday I'll go to the barn. I have a thing I do on the weekends. And it's to the point now where if I just didn't show up for 2 days, people would be like, where's Ken? And that sense of belonging, oof, that's big. You know that song Belong on REM's Out of Time album? That's in my head right now. It's a beautiful song. That was a song I shared with my first ever girlfriend, the first person I was madly in love with. I guess I've really only been madly in love with 2 people. I just remember driving around in my mom's car, a Dodge Caravan, listening to that REM album. And it was a particularly evocative album. If you don't know the Out of Time album, it's good. It's the one that Losing My Religion is on, and Shiny, Happy People. And those are all well and good, but some of the other songs on there, like Half a World Away and Belong, yeah, those are good. Me and Honey's good too, but I need to listen to that. But I'm talking to you, so I'm gonna listen to a little bit. I'll be back. Good. Hi. Well, hi. The light is really bad, and my little portable light is dead. So this is the best we got right now. We all 3 of us just hung out in the tack room, ended up talking, trying to decide on what to do for dinner, and then just getting distracted by conversation about other things. So we decided to go to Corks and Crepes, or Crepes and Corks. I don't know. It was a wine bar and creperie. We each had a savory crepe, and then we each got a sweet crepe, and it was a whole lot of crepes. Yeah, I need to exercise more, because that was a whole lot of crepes. After the whole In-N-Out last night thing, I am not making good life choices. It was great, and now I'm headed home. And in case you're wondering, yeah, I still like, in case you're keeping score at home. I think she's cool. But it's a funny thing. Being friends is really great, and I'm happy for that. It was fun. I'm glad I drove up to meet her and just go out and hang out with people. You know, they were like, oh, you have a long drive home. And I'm like, it's like 25 minutes. It's nothing. You know, back when I used to do roller derby, I would drive an hour and 15, an hour and 20 minutes to get from where I lived to roller skate with people. And then when it was over, I would turn around and drive that same amount back home. And I thought nothing of it. So this 25 minute drive back home, that's nothing. You know, if something's important, you put the work in. It's kind of the theme of the day. That's what my therapist was talking about, and I believe in it. I love the job I have right now. I love being a teacher. But I spent a long time trying to be a teacher. You know, when I was at RISD, I taught whatever classes I could. My friend and I wrote a class and taught it 2 times. And then I would drive to Worcester to teach classes, and I would teach night class. I would teach whenever I could get an opportunity to build my teaching portfolio, to build my resume. Some of those jobs were not the sexiest of jobs. To drive out to Worcester, you know, to drive for an hour to teach like a 1-hour class, to drive an hour home. That wasn't the most fun time. It all sort of led to this moment in time, to me being comfortable enough in a teaching environment where I can walk into a classroom and teach 25, 30 kids at a time. And I'm grateful for that, and I worked hard to get where I am. And I try and work hard every day to make the classroom a really unique, special place, because I don't take my job lightly. Today was a good day, just like a solidly good day. Professionally, it felt good. Socially, it felt good. Therapeutically, I thought therapy went really well. It wasn't the most remarkable day of all time, but I guess we could call it above average. And it's nice to have an above average day. That was one thing we talked about in therapy today. I talked about still checking the call records and what it means. And, you know, I talked about checking the call records, and really all I could see is that she talks to him a whole lot every day. Just a lot of phone calls back and forth. So she asked, like, what does that mean to you, meaning me? And I was sort of like, I don't know. And we talked about why I continue to check the call records. And I said, because one of my reasons was because I'm worried about her. And since she doesn't talk to me and doesn't communicate with me, it's a way in which I feel like I can see what she's up to, see if she's okay. I talked about, for an example, like seeing if she was talking to any like mental health professionals or therapists. To my knowledge, I haven't seen that yet. But I mean, she has phone calls that I can't identify, so maybe that's happening. But I just worry about her. You know, I'm practiced at worrying about her. I'm practiced at taking care of her. And to be cut out of that process, it's a little unnatural. And I thought part of my reasoning was that I'm feeling somewhat better, so I have more resources to give to other people. And I meant that. I do feel like I have a little bit more ability to be good to others. I think my therapist, she sort of reacted positively to that. I sense that I'm getting better. I'm actually going to turn this off. I'm feeling tired, and I want to turn off all the lights and be way more focused on the road. So I should be home in 10 minutes or so. Maybe I'll see you then. Thank you again for listening.